Time doesn't exist anymore,
Uh-uh.
I feel. Not at all.
Once you're an adult, it just kicked your ass.
She's
Okay,
being a
Karen.
Karen.
You don't know who I am?
It was a ghost.
Boy, does this bitch like to talk out loud to herself. Holy fuck. Yeah.
Who runs this world? Cameron.
Bitch, I'll tell you if you're a witch or not.
You're in a great mood today.
I'm hungry. I got food.
I'm so not used to seeing you being so fucking upbeat. This is kind of nice.
It's fake. I'm really pissy. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm tired. I took a mini nap earlier.
Sounds glorious.
It was pretty nice.
I am excited because I have headphones and a mic again. Upgrading my phone was not a great experience in this department for me.
But we figured it out.
But we figured it out. We
Mhm.
took us a little while, but we got it to work.
Yes, we did.
We smart ladies.
Yeah.
Damn, I did a good job with the broth this time.
It's the little things in life, you guys.
Soup makes me happy.
That's the only little thing you should live with.
Hmm.
I caught her off guard. That was funny.
It took me way too long for that to register.
I was waiting.
Oh my goodness. Well, in case you don't know, it's still 2025 and we are still a hot mess because 2025 is still kicking our ass.
It is. It is.
It is a new month though.
It is a new month, is it?
Mm-hmm.
I
It's
don't know
April.
what day. I don't know what day of the week it is. So yeah, see, still kicking our ass because Crystal is dumb. Holy shit!
Yeah, it's April. It's been a ride and a half. I can't believe it. On one hand, I can't believe it's already April, and on the other hand, it feels like this
You
year
can.
has been 76 billion years long.
I know, right? Jesus, it's been a wild time. I don't even know. I don't know.
Like we were talking in one of my meetings about shit that happened last year, but we were talking about it as if it happened like 7 years ago. We're like, oh wait, no, that was last year.
That's so wild.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, yeah. Time doesn't exist anymore.
Uh-uh.
I feel not at all.
Once you're an adult, it just kicked your ass.
Yep. I mean,
No fun.
it's quite literally no fun, but you know, what are you gonna do? I guess cry about it. That's really all you can
Apparently,
do.
what you're going to do is love a Highlander, which is what we read
Okay.
this week. We decided that we wanted a time traveler romance. So Crystal found a Scottish time traveler romance, and it is called
Yeah.
Love a Highlander by Rebecca Preston.
That it is. And it's interesting because we've never done a time travel one
Time
ever.
travel.
And I love this. I love
Probably
this
for a reason.
us.
Oh. I mean, yeah. No,
Is it just because we're already living in the past now and
Yeah.
we don't want to relive it?
Though that past, I mean, was a little bit simpler of a time, I guess.
Than whatever the fuck we're living through right now. Yeah. Well, life, I tell ya.
So our story today, yes, is about the past and time travel. So if time travel is not your thing or you don't believe in its existence, even in book form, maybe this is not for you.
That's a thing.
What?
People would get that mad.
Sometimes, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Some people have like,
you're right though, because some people get mad that I'm a woman.
right.
Get mad
Some
when
people
I
get
just
mad that I speak.
Some people get mad when I'm not implicitly saying that it's them, but when I say don't get upset over a mediocre white man and they just instantly think it's them and then they're just
Right. Right.
I wasn't talking about you.
But now she
Maybe
is.
I was.
But now she is. Just saying. You ugly. If you are mad that she was raising the bar for you, then she can just lower it the fuck back down to where you belong.
Listen, you mad, bruh? You mad, bruh? I do have a you mad, bruh shirt, but that's a whole other
Does
thing.
the shoe fit?
That's the thing is like, if I wasn't talking about you, but you got offended, maybe look internally at why that's happening.
Yeah.
I got called ugly on the internet. It was really funny. I was like, okay. He's like, you should not. I don't know who it was. I just assumed it was a man. It's like, you,
Never know these
like,
days.
you're one to talk. Da
Women
da
are
da. I'm
just
like, bro, what?
not
Like,
smart there sometimes.
well, whatever. I know. Well,
The amount of
anyways,
women
let's
who
continue
voted
with this
against their
time.
own rights. Okay.
Okay,
Anyways,
continuing.
this book features Detective Maria Saunders. And she's sitting alone on a bus amidst a sea of couples, all on a tour to a haunted castle in Scotland. She had just been promoted to detective in New York, and this was her celebration vacation before the job officially started in 2 weeks. She's always been a fan of ghost hunter reality shows, so when she saw the tour, she figured, why not? When the bus was 5 minutes from the castle, the tour guide stood up to warn them that once they crossed the service bridge, they would be stuck on the isolated island holding the castle until morning, as it rises for the evening to allow for passing ships. Every
Question. Have you ever gone on a ghost tour?
Not at night, definitely. I'm trying to remember because we did all kinds of weird little tours that of places that were supposedly kind of like haunted, but it wasn't, it was more of, oh, if you saw something, you saw something kind of thing. It wasn't a specific ghost tour.
I did.
And I've been to a lot of like old castles, which are cool.
I would love to do that. I went on a ghost tour once in New Orleans for my sister's birthday. Let me just tell you, it was a 2 hour ghost tour, and that was way too long. Hours. Because you walk around New Orleans and you go to the different haunted places, which was fine. The what made it better is when you sign up for the ghost tour, you get 2 for 1 hurricanes. So that was great. And then midway through, you stop off at a bar on Bourbon Street and you get a drink that's specially made and it has 151 in it. So my mother fell in the streets of New Orleans, hammered, and it was my sister's favorite part of the entire trip.
Bet you she saw lots of ghosts.
I have I have witnessed ghosts in my past, but not on this ghost tour.
What is that? That
What
just
is what?
poked into your screen.
My hand?
No.
Oh, this.
Just like
I was
bobbled
like,
into the screen.
it's Grace's little plush thing, isn't it?
I
So
know, but
cute.
it's just like bobbled into your screen. I was like,
I
what the
must have
fuck?
I must have shook the desk because he's hanging on a notebook and he just
Gotcha.
fell. And I think when I shook it, he just swung. I was like, that
I
was
was
my
like,
hand. It was a ghost. Sorry.
everyone on the tour finds this being trapped extra exciting. And then they were there with the full castle ruin in view. One wall completely missing, but most of it seemingly held up surprisingly well. They all get off the bus and sit and eat while waiting for it to get truly dark. Maria is enjoying hearing the others talk about the rumored ghosts that they might encounter. One being a woman who is rumored to be both witch and original builder of the castle. Maria had just set up her GoPro camera as the sun fully set, and it was pitch black at last.
I know why the woman's a ghost. It's because she was a woman and built a castle, and we can't have that.
Yeah, probably. And she was considered a witch. The tour guide gathers everyone around and instructs them on their meeting spot and safe places, as well as gives everyone his phone number just in case. He brings them inside and sets them free to go off hunting. Maria partners up with two couples and they head off as a small group. They come upon a creepy looking spiral staircase heading down and decide that that's a good direction to start. Maria is in the front since she has her camera. A little while down, she realizes no one is behind her. She hollers up, and the scaredy cats tell her just to let them know what's down there first, and then she'll join her. Maria just shakes her head and grumbles and keeps going. She came here, to see ghosts and be scared. I mean, come on.
No, thank you.
The stairs seem to go on forever. When she finally gets to the bottom, she realizes she has found her way to the castle's catacombs. She runs back up the stairs to yell to her group to come down. They all work their way down. Everyone checks out the space in fascination. Maria even finds an old wooden door and opens it. She feels a draft, so she keeps walking through it, finding another room, completely empty except for a small wooden storage door. Maria opens it and crawls through, trying to find her way in the dark, only to come out on the other side in a fully lighted room, almost identical to the one she had just been in. But this one's lit. and she can hear some event for, she's assuming, those who could find it. She can hear people like escape room adjacent party. So she walks
Yeah,
further
I
in the
got like
room.
Alice
Oh,
in Wonderland vibes because she went through a goddamn door.
right. So she walks further into the room only for the little door to slam shut behind her. Right? Yeah, the little door kind of, yeah. Maria tries to open it again, but it's stuck or locked now, and she's panicking because, hello, she tries to call to her group with no answer. So Maria pulls out her phone to call a tour guide. No signal. She's too deep into this basementy
Now
catacombs
she
area.
fucked.
So she decides to follow the torches and the noise, coming upon another spiral staircase just like the one she had gone down before. She takes it to the top, and when she gets there, it looks like a jail of some sort. There are men in rows behind bars. She's like, what the actual fuck? And asks one of the men what's going on. When he just gives her a toothless smile, she yells out that she gives up, that she doesn't want to take place in any reenactment. An accented voice yells out, "Who goes there?" as a man with a sword and long reddish hair comes towards her. He asks what she's doing down there and if she's a spy. She tells him he doesn't have to stay in character, that she just got lost, and asks him to bring her back to the tour group. He says he doesn't recognize her tongue. She says it's because she's American, that she was just here to see the ghosts and got lost. She gives up. She's ready to go back to the main level of the castle. He asks why she's dressed that way. He asks if she has a fever, that she's either a spy or she's sick with fever, and he needs to get rid of her. And he picks her up, flings her over his shoulder, and walks off with her. She's yelling at him to stop and let her go, but he brings her into a room and flings her onto a bed, asking what all of her stuff is that she's holding. She's holding her camera and her phone still. Maria tries to get up, and he won't have it. He just says that she will stay and that the Laird will decide what to do with her. And then he grabs the camera and the phone and leaves, locking the door behind him. Maria leaps up, yelling about suing, but then she sees out the window. It looks oddly different, and she has no idea what's going on. She's just exhausted. Hours go by. Maria's pounded on the door, searched the room, but she's still stuck there, and no one has come for her. And at some point in her exhaustion, she falls asleep on the bed. When she wakes up, she says to herself that that was a strange dream, when a voice startles her, asking what the dream was. There is a very large blonde man looming over her bed. Maria tells him to get out, that she demands to speak to the person in charge. The man tells him, the
I
man tells
demand to
her,
see the manager.
right?
She is
Okay,
being a
Karen.
Karen.
The man tells her he is the ruler of the place. She tells him to drop the act, that she didn't sign up for this. She wants to get back on the bus. He asks her what a bus is. He looks her up and down and asks why she's wearing what she's wearing and what her accent is. Maria stands up, and when she does, she catches the window. Now that it's daylight, she can see things clearer and can see that it's not remotely the same as when she arrived. She begins to feel the panic rise up. He asks her name. She gives it. He pulls out her phone and camera from the night before, asking what they are. She says fine, she'll play along and hopefully pass whatever test is necessary to leave. Maria tries to explain the concept of a camera when there is a knock at the door, with someone delivering food and clothing. The man gives her a dress so that she can change and not be dressed like a man. He tells her to eat while he decides what to do with her and goes to leave. On his way out, she asks his name. He seems shocked that she doesn't know who he is. "You don't know who I am?" and tells her Cameron McLeod. After he leaves, Maria eats the food left, and boy, does this bitch like to talk out loud to herself. Holy fuck. I like I don't understand how she's a fucking detective, because she clearly is never undercover, that's for damn sure. Somebody's gonna shoot her. Maybe it's a good thing she never actually started her job as a detective, because she would have gotten shot. She decides to look back at her GoPro footage for clues to try to figure her way out of whatever's going on. When she goes through the little door on the screen, the night vision shows the air rippling around her. It was getting harder and harder to try to convince herself that she's still in the same place. But could she really have traveled back in time? She starts to panic and runs to the door, pulling it open, surprised Cameron hadn't locked it. Maria retraces her steps until she once again finds the door. She yanks and yanks, but like before, it still won't budge. The same guard who found her the first time finds her again, asking what she's doing. She begs him to help her open the door. He tells her that the catacombs are sealed shut. She insists that that's the way she came in. He says she's dangerous. She says she just wants to get home to the future. The guard brings her back to her room, saying he will warn the laird of her witchcraft, escaping her locked room. When Cameron does return to her room, he asks why she left her room when he instructed her to stay. Girl, you didn't sit and stay like a dog like I told you to.
In his defense, it is
He is
the
the
time.
lad.
It is the time. So it makes sense. That'd be like the same thing as if we were reading Regency and we get pissed about the property thing. It makes sense because of the time.
Right. Well, he's
I
used to everyone
would hate
having
all of
to
this. Well, yeah,
listen
and
to
he
him.
he runs this shit.
Yeah.
Who runs this world? Cameron.
Yeah. Who's supposed to run the
Lairds.
land?
Sorry.
Lads. She tells him she's not a witch as she remembers the weight that that term carries for the past. He tells her he will decide that. Bitch, I'll tell you if you're a witch or not. Maria says that she just wants to go home. He asks her where that is, and when she tells him, he's confused as he's never heard of New York or America. She tries to tell him about the door
I
and
mean,
being
again.
she tries to tell him about the door and being from the future, but he's struggling obviously. So she pulls out her GoPro camera. The amount of times that they use the word GoPro in this really drove me crazy. Like it was
Are you
like, are you
sponsored by GoPro?
that's what I was like. She plays the footage for him, and Cameron is very overwhelmed watching. He thinks he understands now, but is still very confused about most of it, and is still not convinced that she's not a witch, and this doesn't make her more of a witch. He also worries because his clan will know she is the perfect way an enemy could get to him. He has a weakness for beautiful and mysterious women.
That sounds like more of a you problem than a me problem.
Cameron tells Maria he needs to consult with someone, that he will bring them to speak with Maria. He asks that she actually stay in the room this time, and he locks the door after he leaves. At dinner, Cameron pulls aside his cousin Hugh, asking him to ride out to visit Hugh's mother with him in the morning. They meet bright and early and ride to the cottage.
Freezing again on my part. Give me a second. I don't know why. I need you to repeat the last sentence you said.
They meet bright and early and ride to the cottage. The men are greeted and have breakfast with Hugh's mother, Erin, and Hugh's sisters. Erin, just like her mother before her, is very knowledgeable regarding the castle's history. Still okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cameron asks Erin if they can take a walk so they can talk. When alone, he tells Erin his dilemma. She had once confided in him about a dream of hers where a woman had arrived to the castle from the future. Cameron asks if Erin will come meet with Maria. Erin says she will come as soon as she can, but to try not to let word spread because things like this are not handled well by most. Cameron agrees, and then he and Hugh head back. After completing necessary chores for the day, Cameron checks in on Maria in the afternoon. He is put off by how sad she seems, but she's kind of like, duh, she can't get home. That she wishes they would try the door. Maybe it just needs more strength or to be someone else. He agrees to go down with her and try. They don't have any luck, though, and Maria asks to take a walk for a bit before she gets cooped up in that room again. He agrees to bring her around the castle grounds, but only after she changes, as her clothes will cause too much of a distraction for everyone. They go up to put on the dress he had brought in for her previously. She does need help tying it, and his nearness makes them both feel a little something. They walked a trail around the island and enjoyed each other's company. That evening, she was invited to dine downstairs with the laird and his clan. The cook, Heigl, who's like a mother to Cameron, who he trusted in helping with Maria with food and other things, comes to bring Maria a dress and help her wash up and get ready. Once ready, Heigl leads her down to the feast. And once introduced by Cameron, most accepted his word or acted like they did, except for a cousin named Bran, who was very suspicious of Maria, either of being a witch or a spy, sent to lure Cameron in. When Cameron walks her back to her room, he gives her the room key, explaining that her staying in the room is just for her safety. But if she feels cooped up, just to stay on castle grounds, and only during daylight, to use the key to lock the door from the inside while there. The next couple days, Maria spends time in the courtyard and more time with Cameron. While out, people talk with her a bit and seem to be more accepting. Finally, Aaron arrives after taking longer than planned, combing through books for possible information to help. Cameron encourages Maria to tell Aaron her story and to show her the camera. Aaron starts to tell Maria the story of the Skaha, who supposedly built the castle, similar to the story Maria heard in the present from the other ghost hunters. Aaron believes that the Skaha uses portals to haunt the castle in different times and that Maria must have found her way through one. Aaron says that she will continue looking through texts to see if she can find more than the little she was able to. After she leaves, Maria feels overwhelmed with hopelessness, that she's truly stuck in the past, and starts to cry. Cameron tries to comfort her until she ends up in his arms and he kisses her. They get very into kissing until a knock pounds on the door. It's Hugh, with news that another clan, the McDonalds, are approaching the bridge without notice.
God, cock block.
Hugh tends to cockblock quite a bit, actually.
I know.
Not really on purpose, but you know. Cameron tells Maria to lock the door and leaves with Hugh. Maria doesn't stay put, though. She's nosy and worried about Cameron, so she eavesdrops. The other clan sent the son, the leader's son, the laird of that clan's son, to request Cameron's help to look into a problem and to stay in the castle while they work together. They are giving her detective instincts a bad vibe, though. Then she remembers that she's heard that name before. The tour guide mentioned this other clan as being a conquering clan of the castle, but she's trying to remember specifics and she was half listening, focused on actual ghost stuff. She hears Cameron agree to the other clan and heads back to her room. She's caught by Bran, though, who she tries to tell him she needs to speak to the laird and warn him, but Bran doesn't believe her and tells her she's probably working for the other clan, for,
Because she's
for
a
the
woman.
McDonald's.
Sorry.
Right.
She's a witch.
He drags her back to her room. Heigl brings her a fancy dress for that evening's dinner. Hugh escorts her to a table with another couple, while Cameron and his men host the McDonald dude and his wife. Maria tries to watch them from afar, but doesn't get to talk to Cameron. He knocks on her door later that evening, and she tells him to be wary since she knows the McDonalds have control of the castle at some point, but is not sure when. He tells her he will be careful of the leader, the father. The son that was sent, he's not super worried about. Though sometimes it's the ones you underestimate, just saying.
Right?
Once that talk was done and the quiet aloneness settles on them, they resume their earlier kissing. Cameron helps Maria out of her dress, and very quickly they're fucking, which surprises me a little bit because I figured it would be more of a conversation or easing into it since, well, the past. But nope, it's wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Just like that. They're
Well,
lying together. Yeah, they're lying
it's
together
okay.
afterward when there's a banging on the door. Once again, it's Hugh cock blocking. Cameron quickly bolts up, redressing, finding Hugh on the other side, saying to come quick with his sword. The McDonald's son has been murdered, and not for a hamburger. He was not hamburger lured. He was murdered
I just, Ariel.
because he's the McDonald's son.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Maria does not stay in her room as told and instead pulls the blanket around herself and follows. She doesn't even get dressed. It's just weird. And nobody bats a fucking eye that this naked woman is just like traipsing through with a blanket.
Maybe they've seen it all before.
Well, it's just weird.
I know.
The man was stabbed through the heart. Maria asks where the wife is. Cameron tells her that she needs to go back to her room. She tells him she can help, that this is what she did before, but he has Hugh escort her back so that the men can handle things. Bran sits there and it's just too much. Too many cooks are in the kitchen. Cameron comes to find her a little while later, stationing guards at her door. He gives her a knife for protection. She, once again, now that it's not a chaotic murder scene, explains about her job in the future and keeps explaining until he gets it. They go off to look for clues and question the wife now that she's been found. Maria could tell the wife's story didn't completely add up, but she didn't have all the info to know just yet. Cameron doesn't have the answers he would like yet, but he needs to inform the MacDonald clan even if it brings war upon him. He needs to do the right thing. Bran doesn't like this plan. Of course, Bran doesn't like this plan because Bran is a fucking butthead. And he accuses Maria of being the murderer.
Because Bran is a butthead.
When Cameron doesn't speak up, when Bran asks where she was during the murder, she tells Bran about, fucking Cameron, which seems to upset Cameron, which pisses her off. Cameron tells her to go back to her room and stay safe. She decides to visit the wife once more on the way back and try again as a woman to woman visit, but Bran, who fucking must have a tracking device on her because he is fucking up her ass like a dog, finds her and
It's because
yells,
he wants to be up Cameron's ass.
clearly, but she's up hers. Jeez. Finds her and yells, sending her back to her room under a guard. You are not to leave. Later, when Cameron visits Maria, she lays into him. He tells her it was for her protection. She calls him a coward. He tells her if the McDonald's know where his heart lies, she'll be in even more danger. She kind of pauses for like a second, like, wait, you love me? Isn't that a little too soon? But she tells him that she can't be with him, and he doesn't actually care about her if he doesn't trust her. She said that she
Solid
could
point.
help. Yeah, she said she could help, and he shut her out. He let her be treated like a suspect. He agrees that it was wrong, but that he just can't bear to put her in harm's way. He tells her that the Laird MacDonald got his letter and returned his own, that he is on his way, that he fears they will soon be under siege. Maria begs Cameron to let her try to speak to the Laird first, that she might be able to help. She
Here's the thing.
asks,
In this time,
and
you
in
think
this
a man is
place,
gonna listen to a woman?
in this time, and in this place. No, Charmed? Okay. But no,
I'm just saying. She's
no, I
being like,
don't.
let me talk to him. Let me speak to
Well,
him.
that's, I
Bitch, do
know.
you think he's gonna listen?
Well, that's kind of where Cameron's at because he's like, what the fuck?
He knows. She's just being like, oh, my poor feelings. Like, let me do this.
But I
Girl,
can do it. I know. I was not really a big fan. She asks him to please trust her. She can help.
no, you can't.
Like earlier, we said he does have a weakness, so he does reluctantly agree. They will disguise her as a possible subject to grant her the audience. Oh, and then they fuck because they don't know if they'll live through the next day. So, great. In in the morning, they march both Maria and the wife out as the MacDonald clan approaches. Cameron explains that they're still trying to figure out what has happened, but in good faith, because he doesn't want to resort to bloodshed between clans, that he is relinquishing the two outsider women for questioning. They go into the tent set up, the Laird MacDonald agreeing to conversation first. Cameron hands over the wife and then introduces Maria, explaining that she's trained and skilled in analyzing crimes and might be the key to solving the murder. The man agrees to humor this for as long as his patience lasts. Maria asks the man what he knows of his son's marriage and then explains her clues, such as the angle of the knife coming from someone shorter and no defensive wounds. As the list grows and becomes obvious of the implication, the wife suddenly grabs a guard's dagger and lunges for Maria, saying her husband deserved what he got. Luckily, Maria is trained and avoids the attempt at her. The Laird MacDonald knocks the wife out and has guards take her. He thanks Maria for helping to avoid the clans battling. And then we have an epilogue that is 4 months later. Bran apologizes to Maria, and her work uncovering the murder made her standing great within the clan. Cameron proposes to her. Well, basically, he tells her, but that's how it goes then. Maria also sees the Skaha and follows her to the door, which opens that time, but Maria chooses to stay with Cameron.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so I did not mean to necessarily speed run
I was gonna say, holy
that
shit,
book,
girl.
but for the record, it was short, and there is a reason why, if you have noticed, that if you're wondering in your life and you're like, why does sometimes Ariel come on and sometimes Crystal comes on. That is because we both have different abilities when it comes to recapping a book. I can do the larger books, but the smaller books, I still recap the same way. So they get condensed the same way. And Crystal has the same problem, but in reverse. So she over explains tremendously, and I under explain tremendously. So I tend to do the big books, and she tends to do the small books. This book, while it wasn't under the threshold that Crystal usually takes over for, it still was under 300 pages, and there just wasn't a lot of detail to it. So it just kind of wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Just like in the book. So fun fact, if you're wondering, and you haven't heard that explanation
Oh yeah.
before, that's why that
So
happens.
and that is also why so I typically always do the
Do
specials because
specials because specials
so
a
the
lot of
way we
times tend
set
to
it
be
up
shorter.
usually, yeah. Christmas was a little different, and if you guys were here last year for May, it was very different, and that was just because that was
Mm.
my birthday present to Ariel, is I did everything. Did I want to cry afterwards? Absolutely. I didn't want to do another single book ever again.
But once
Typically,
upon a time, I did them all and wanted to cry all the time. So
yeah.
it's been an adjustment.
Yes. So, yeah, so typically I cover all the specials and she covers the main books and then
Every once in a while, if a novella is on the wheel, which doesn't happen a lot, then if
Mhm.
we remember, Crystal will take it, but sometimes we don't remember.
No. This was one of those times. It
I
wasn't
but I
technically a
don't even
novella,
think I
but
would have right. I don't think we would have given this to you because it ended up being like 280 pages, so it was not under. There goes my headphones, ripped out of my ear. That was good. It was not under
usually usually
250,
my
which
I was
is
gonna say
usually
usually my
the
threshold is about 250. Occasionally I'll
and
push it to 300, but then we end up with an hour and a
depending
half long an
right
episode.
on the book. If it's a special, we don't really care as much because it's a special. But for the regular episodes, we don't usually like to drag it out that much unless you guys, really want to listen to us talk. But anywho, so who is your favorite character? And not the cupcake you just shoved in your mouth.
I know you
That looked
asked.
delicious, by the way.
They're really good. They're the Publix cupcakes. They're so fucking good.
Isn't
Um,
I thought are you isn't Publix the boycott one or is that not the boycott one?
what?
I maybe that's the one that's okay. I thought you were boycotting Publix. Oh, what's supposed to be boycotting down there? One of the grocery stores.
I don't know.
Oh,
I always go to Publix. I'm always
now
at
we're
fucking Publix. It's
boycotting all
just
the
really
Unilever
expensive.
products, except for Ben and Jerry's.
There's too many boycotts. I can't keep up. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing wrong every
It's
day.
really easy. You just don't buy anything. Welcome to 2025.
So I'm gonna
You're
say
poor anyways, so sorry.
I am, but I've gotten better.
I just meant that
Oh
that
yeah.
was the universal you, not Crystal.
Okay.
Wow,
I was
you're
like
poor.
me.
No.
Yeah. Well,
You're like, who the fuck is talking? Look at you.
here's the thing though. One of us has a place to live, and one of us is going to not have a place to live. So I don't know who really is
Listen,
actually poor here.
one of us knows that if the other one doesn't mind freezing her ass off, she could come to the other one's house.
I actually, it's so funny because I got another offer if I need to, but conditions have to be met before I do that, anyways. Okay, so
Like sexual conditions?
no, 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 no. So let's finish. No, I was gonna say, well, we're gonna finish this afterwards. I'll call you. I'm gonna say the dude who is the guide who stayed back in the bus, the guide person, because he stayed. He
The
was like, I'm
the
not going.
guide, the tour guide?
Yeah. Because, okay,
Because
so
he's
I
done it
was
so many times. He was like,
right.
whatever.
So originally I was gonna pick the two couples that she went with. But then I remembered they let her go into the basement and the catacombs and didn't go with her, so they just abandoned her. So they can't be my favorite couple. They can't be my favorite people. So, or they did, whatever. She wanted to go through the door and they just kind of like, nah, bro. So I didn't want to pick them. So I'm just gonna pick the dude who didn't even bother going in and set the expectations ahead of time that he wasn't even going in.
So while I understood his intention, I wasn't a super huge fan of Bran, and I wasn't obviously a fan of the
Oh, I hadn't
McDonald
gotten to my
kid.
least favorite person yet. That was my
Oh, I
favorite
thought
couple.
I said your least favorite.
Oh,
I
my
thought I
least
said
favorite
least
ever.
favorite.
I
Maybe
know
I
now.
didn't.
I don't know. Least
I don't
favorite,
know.
everybody. Favorite, tour guide.
I was so fucking confused.
Oh, I thought you said favorite. Maybe I
I
just didn't
might
hear the
have. Now I
least
have
part.
no idea.
Who knows? Anyway, so least favorite. I don't like anybody.
She was awful. Anne
Everybody was.
wasn't great. Like, yeah, really, I
Brand
don't.
was a goddamn cock blocker, okay?
And Hugh was a cock blocker.
Oh, that one too. Whatever. They all suck.
I mean, like, really, like, who was good? I don't know.
I don't know. Who was your favorite then?
Cook? Heigl? Hegel?
Oh,
Heigl?
she was good. She was nice. Sounds
Yeah.
good. Cool.
The Kegelator.
Stop it. Get the fuck
Do
out.
you
Put
have
your
that
tongue
lady?
back in your mouth, woman.
Do you have that lady on TikTok who every time she pops up, she has you do Kegels?
No, I don't.
Oh my God. But you don't know what's going on at first. She's like, and hold, and let go, and in, and out,
Oh my
and hold,
God.
2, 3, 4.
That's so funny. Good Lord.
She pops up for me every now and then. I'm like, "Ah."
Oh my God.
And everybody in the comments, everyone just stops and does what she says, no questions asked. Anywho,
Wild.
yeah,
Cool. Oh yeah, I should probably bring Amazon up, huh? That's kind
I
of my
mean,
job. So, Amazon gives this a 4.2 and Goodreads a 4.0.
how many ratings? A lot?
1,400 on Amazon,
Oh, good amount.
920. Yeah,
Would you rate it?
like a 2.5. 2.5, yeah.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
about you?
yeah. That sounds good. 2.5.
All right, solid.
I was gonna go on like towards a 3, but yeah, 2.5.
Sorry.
Well, I
Don't
mean,
let me.
no, it's 10. It's as we like talk about it and discuss it that sometimes it goes up or
Honestly,
down.
yeah. I found that a lot. I found books where like I read it and I rate it lower, and then we talk about it. I'm like, oh wait, just kidding. I
Right.
actually
It
love
happens both
this. It's
ways. Right.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that way it's not a one or the other. It happens both ways. Part of my rating has a lot to do with the writing.
Usually it does.
Well, literally from the beginning of reading the book, it felt very young, the writing. Like it felt like something,
Yeah,
it felt like you or I in high school made
mm.
this story up in our back and forth notebooks in
Dude, I want to know where those are.
math or English class. My mother found one at one point. I think I sent you screenshots.
Yeah, I have one, but it's all pictures.
You never know what it was, but I'm just saying, like, that's the vibe. It felt the writing was very juvenile
Mm-hmm.
and it just had that tone to it. And I was like, oh, bummer. So that has a lot to do with,
Yeah,
unfortunately, my rating.
cool,
Cool.
cool.
Pepper scale.
Right. I don't know.
Right. Let's look.
Jalapeno. Does that sound right? Ish.
I'm gonna say a poblano and a half
Okay.
because there was basically nothing. It was like
No.
a scene and a half.
Honestly, I got jalapeno and poblano mixed up. I just forgot the pepper.
And survivability.
Okay, if I made her same decisions to go through the door, I would probably be dead because I'm a woman. If I was to have my own autonomy, I would not have gone through the door because I have seen Alice in Wonderland, and also I am also not about to go into a haunted castle at night because I don't fuck with ghosts. I've seen them. I don't like them. It's not my vibe. I am a scaredy cat. Hard pass. You would not catch me.
So I'm a Taurus, and I have been told that that plus my vibe means that once the sun starts going down, there's like this like invisible like force field that starts to go around my house, and I have to make it back in time. And once I'm there, I'm just there. And then like I have to make it back in time. So I don't think personally I would be out past dark if it was me. So I don't think I would ever be there to begin with. Though, if somehow I was forced upon going through this back in time, like you said, I think I would be fine then because I would just chill and let people bring me food and vibe.
Yeah, that sounds great. I would just die because I'd
I would just
speak,
be like,
like, say the
oh,
wrong
okay,
thing.
great.
I would say the wrong fucking thing and then off with my head. So
I just probably wouldn't talk. I'd just read and chill and
I would turn into Anne Boleyn.
Did you
Marie
see
Antoinette,
you see
all over with their
the
heads
link
cut
I
off.
sent you with the new book?
Nope, but I will. I know I saw the link, I just hadn't clicked it. So yeah, time travel,
And yeah,
guys.
we don't have much left on our wheel.
We have 3 books left.
Fucking crazy.
So let's spin it.
And find out what we're reading next week.
Yes. Oh, it'd help if I shared my screen, huh? All right, let's spin it. We'll see what we're doing. Bro. Married to My Grumpy Minotaur Boss by Amy Wright.
And yes, we have read Amy Wright before. And while it was not our favorite book, there were some things that we enjoyed enough that we were like, let's try it again. Because one book does not make an author.
No, absolutely not. So,
And it was not tragic enough for us to be like, no fucking thank you.
no,
Because
absolutely
we
not.
have
Like,
had those.
yes, don't get it twisted.
That is
Sometimes
warranted.
it is warranted.
It's a bad idea to fake marry your grumpy Minotaur boss on reality TV, right? But when ratings are down and he catches me snooping on his computer, I open my big mouth. And, well, I might have come up with an idea to rescue his network, but I didn't take into account what it would feel like to be his, even if it's not real. Now we're stuck together on a romantic island on my dream honeymoon with only one bed. He's the monster husband of my dreams. He's controlling, yet tender. His knowing smile and monstrous good looks make my mouth dry and my panties not dry. I used to wish he'd notice me. The problem is, all he seems to notice about me are the ways that I annoy him. While I notice all the ways he'd be perfect for me. Can we save the network and his job? Well, and mine. More importantly, can I keep from falling desperately, madly, painfully in love with him? Because that would be the worst mistake of all.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oh, so many good tropes in there.
And we do like a monster romance.
We do. So join us as we continue April with no theme right now, but we're going into
We have
Minotaurs.
a theme. Oh, we
We
don't have a theme of our main books, but our specials, we are lumberjacks.
Lumberjacks.
We're doing Lumber Snack April.
Oh, love that for me. Oh, yes. Okay. Ariel coming in. So join us continuing Lumber Snack April with a Minotaur snack of a daddy boss. Not a daddy boss, because that's weird.
Oh, Crystal just jinxed us. Isn't that what happened before? It was too much of a daddy book. You just jinxed us
Yeah.
so bad. Ugh. All right. Find out if we're suffering next week and make sure to keep reading.
And keep it smutty.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck.